Greetings from the desert Southwest. It has been 1 year since I've been traveling and living in this van, so I thought I'd share some thoughts on that with you coming up. So I bought this van just about 2 years ago. It's got 87,000 miles on it, believe it or not. And I've been living in it for about a year, give or take a couple weeks, staying with friends and family. So here's the outside of the van. Normally my bike would be on the back, but it's at the shop getting a tune-up. On top, we've got the Yakima Skybox 16, which I feel was a very good purchase for my situation. I've got a spare tire up in there. I've got one of those bucket toilets. Then I've got some clothes and other supplies, shoes, etc. And I feel what's good about that is it allows the inside to be not as cluttered with stuff, because that stuff has to go somewhere. In the case of the spare tire, it would be really unfortunate to have to put that inside. And you can watch another video I made about the spare tire situation for this vehicle. So here I am inside without the bike. I'm going to show you something I recorded previously to show you what it looks like with the bike inside, which I use for long distance travel and anytime the weather is bad where I don't want the bike to get all mucked up. So here's an example of my setup in travel mode. The bike is inside. Let's take a look. So I have my dog bed to sit on, empty space, stuff hanging, and then you see the bike is strapped in with other stuff bungeed to it, and some more gear in the back, and there's my bed folded up. So this is useful when the weather is really bad. I don't want the bike hanging out in snow and ice and stuff like that, or I'm traveling long distance and it's just better to have it inside for a little bit better gas mileage or possibly security. So there's still enough room, plenty to sleep and to hang out here in this front section and do stuff. So as far as wear and tear and maintenance, I've only done the basic stuff recommended by Toyota. I had a cooling system flush a little while ago. And then new tires at about 60K. I needed new tires. Other than that, it's just been oil changes, filter changes, a lot of the basic stuff. Now, whenever you consider a vehicle for living out of and long-term use, you got to think, what is the lifestyle that you want? For me, it's lately been mountain biking and driving to cool trails all over the place. So for my lifestyle, this is a good fit. It gets good mileage, it's big enough without being too big, and it allows me to kind of stay on the move and travel and visit places that I'd like to see. So I'm kind of in explore mode, you could call it. And compare that to just hanging out in one spot for a long time and spending a lot of time inside the vehicle. I don't tend to do that. I can sit up inside this vehicle, I cannot stand, and there's no bathroom and no shower. So when it comes to showers, I have to drive to a health club. And then again, if it's a rainy or super windy day where being outside is not the greatest, it's a little crowded in there. I can sit, I can do certain things, but it's not as nice as a high roof vehicle, Sprinter, etc. would be, or an actual RV. Because I'm driving a lot, the good mileage is a nice bonus. I'm getting about 30 miles per gallon on average, even with this rooftop box on, and even sometimes the bike on the back. Sometimes more than 30, sometimes less, but that's pretty much it. Another thing that I don't have in here is a real kitchen of any kind. I've just got a butane stove, which I do use. Otherwise, I will eat out if it's convenient, like I'm going into town for gas or a shower, and if there's somewhere to eat close by, I'll just do it. So if you're considering this vehicle, I think the main obstacle is this enough room for you? So here's my little dog bed where I sit, and some gear piled up in there, my bed. And again, without the bike inside, it's pretty decently sized in here, but I can sit up but not stand up, like I said. Because this is a hybrid vehicle, The advantages to me of that are the good gas mileage, the climate control, which I've done a ton of videos about, and also, charging devices. It's very easy to do. In fact, I don't have solar panels or even an extra battery because I haven't frankly needed one yet. I can charge what I need to charge just with this vehicle. So this vehicle is very comfortable for long road trips. Let me tell you some reasons why. So being a newer vehicle, it has adaptive cruise control, which is great on the freeway. It's got a nice smooth ride. It's pretty quiet when the windows are closed inside. Good sound insulation. It's got the blind spot indicators for changing lanes, and the steering help, I forget what it's called. Lane assist, I think it is. All those make driving this thing on the freeway and putting on a lot of miles an actually pretty pleasurable experience. Another advantage is that it's a somewhat normal sized vehicle. Driving in cities and parking in general is pretty easy to do compared to a larger RV. All right, so let's talk about the climate control. I've done a ton of videos on that. And I think the bottom line is it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So for example, out here, it's a beautiful day. It's warm, it's in the 70s. Tonight it'll probably be in the 50s at the coldest. And I will not use the climate control tonight, most likely. Just crack a window or two. And if you were to stay in really nice weather all the time, the climate control to me isn't really an essential thing. But again, when you need it, it's very nice to have. I was just in Wisconsin, it was snowing and cold, and then anytime it's really hot and especially humid, that climate control is very nice. So in terms of running the climate control, I do have a carbon monoxide detector, which I have inside the van at all times, just in case there's a leak in the exhaust system or something. It will detect that carbon monoxide. So I would definitely recommend having one of those if you're in a running vehicle for any length of time. As I talked about in many videos, the cost of the climate control burns about 1/10 of a gallon per hour. So just multiply by the whatever gas costs per gallon, and I think it's totally worth it when you do need that climate control. Now, having been in a cold area, I will say the engine kicks on more frequently when it's cold to make heat for the climate control compared to having the air conditioner running. The AC seems to not burn as much gasoline as heat. Now, having a bigger vehicle, an actual RV, a Sprinter, or even pulling a camper would be nice for the extra space, but let's talk about the negatives to that. So with those bigger vehicles, you're not going to be getting 30 miles per gallon. Granted, it would be nice to be able to stand up inside and hang out inside on, bad weather days, but it does come with a cost. Pulling a trailer, I just really don't want to do. It's an extra step. Plus, I kind of like having everything with me at all times, like you do in a van. So there may come a day when I trade this in or sell it or whatever and get a bigger RV. I don't know. For now, this is working. Another feature of this vehicle, if I do end up renting an apartment for a short or longer term, this is just somewhat of a normal vehicle here. It's not like I'd have a big RV parked in the parking lot of an apartment. This can function as just a normal around the town type of vehicle. All right, I did look at the Prius and the RAV and the Highlander, so let's talk about the other Toyota hybrids in relation to the Sienna. So the Sienna being a larger vehicle, it's going to get, worse mileage than a Prius for sure, at about 30 average compared to 40 or even 50. The RAV4 hybrid gets around 40. That would be nice too, in terms of mileage and ground clearance when it comes to the RAV and the Highlander. The Sienna, as you know, it's got a pretty low stance on the ground. However, the extra space I feel is worth it to me, and then these big sliding doors make it very easy to get in and get out compared to like the rear passenger doors in one of those other vehicles. So I got nothing against those other hybrids, they're amazing. And watching the people live out of Priuses, which is what got me started on this journey a few years back on YouTube. Okay, so to wrap this up, again, this works for my lifestyle and my needs, and there are pros and cons to everything. So your situation may be different, And then again, it might match kind of what I'm doing. Again, explore mode, a lot of traveling, putting on the miles, seeing a lot of different places. In my case, mountain bike trails, especially lately. And it's a large enough vehicle to be somewhat comfortable inside, but you know, it's nowhere near as nice as a stand-up van or a full-on camper when it comes to that. However, there's always pros and cons, and really nobody should tell you how to spend your money. This is how I'm going about it. It's been a full year. It's been great. I do not regret this at all. And I will keep using this for I don't know how many more years. We'll see. But it seems to be fitting my lifestyle to the T. All right, so I hope this helps you and I didn't ramble too much. Just wanted to get some thoughts down at the 1 year point of living out of this vehicle and 2 year point of owning it. And again, I do not regret it. It's been amazing. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, anything I missed or whatever. All right, peace out.